Mrs. Morris knew that machine was faulty. I mean, what happened to her report? What are you trying to do here, kill us?
You know that's nonsense.
Oh, like hell. Something should have been done straight away.
Yeah, it's real dangerous, Mrs. Reynolds.
Something will be done as soon as possible.
Mrs. Reynolds, Pixie could have been killed. Now, how many more accidents are going to happen before something's done?
I've told you.
I'm sorry, it's not good enough. We're out on strike. A general strike throughout the block.
Well, I'll go and apologize to Pixie. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
You realize I'll have to put in a report to the department. I think I can do it without mentioning you.
Honey, you're all right now, hey?
Well, I told Ralph I didn't want to. He wouldn't listen to me.
Hey, come on now, don't worry about things like that now.
But he tried to make me. He wouldn't stop. I said I didn't want to until after we were married.
Pixie, don't worry about Ralph now.
It was awful. It was just awful, Jude. I didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to what?
I just wanted to make him stop. I didn't mean to hurt him, Jude. I didn't mean to kill him.
Kill him?
I killed Ralph, Judy. I killed him. I'm a monster, Jude. What can I do?
Come on, Pixie, calm down.
Well, how can I calm down? I knew I'd done something awful, but... Well, now I can remember it all. It's just horrible.
Honey, we're gonna have to talk this through. I mean, if you're telling me the truth...
Of course I'm telling you the truth. Why would I make it up? I didn't mean to do it, Jude. I meant to hit him with the ashtray, but... I didn't mean to kill him. He was laughing at me, and he said I was being silly and a tease, but I wasn't teasing, Jude. And then he said I was a
Pixie,
prude.
you're not making sense. Now,
He pushed me down onto the bed, and he was laughing, and I thought he was joking, but he wasn't joking. So I grabbed this ashtray and I just hit him over the head with it, and then I waited for him to move, but he didn't move.
Are you sure he was dead?
Well, his head was bleeding, and he wasn't breathing. I'm a murderess, Jude.
I'm sorry. Can't allow you any more time.
Yeah, thanks, Mrs. Morris.
Oh, no, please don't,
Now,
don't go.
you just take it easy and don't worry.
Mason, I feel so bad about... Is there anything I can do?
There's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing.
Come along.
God, I hope she's gonna be all right.
She will be. Oh, and I think what might have happened.
Mrs. Morris, can we have a little chat?
Yes, of course. What about?
Well, I'm no Einstein, but it doesn't take much for me to know when something's wrong. I mean, some of the new women here, they're even saying that you and Miss Ferguson are doing a sister act.
You can't be serious. Oh, for God's sake, you know I'd never do anything malicious toward the women.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, maybe if you tried to explain to them that
There is
something...
nothing to explain. I just forgot, that's all. Oh, for heaven's sake, if it'd been anybody else...
Yeah, but it wasn't, was it? Mrs. Morris, we've known each other too long to beat about the bush. I'd really like to help you if I could. I mean, if you have some sort of problem, then
There
just
is
tell...
no problem. I just made a mistake, that's all.
Oh. Well, I guess we both did.
Right. Now we better get a move on or you'll miss out on your dinner.
Whatever you say.
Thought we might have a little business conference. Oh, rack off, will you? This stuff's hard enough to swallow without your garbage on top of it. Pretty dirty on me, aren't you? I hate your guts. So comb that through your greasy hair. Just thought you might want to tell me when the new stuff's coming in. It's none of your bloody business. There you go. Wrong again, Margot. You got to watch that if we want to keep being partners. Partners? Geez, that's a laugh. That finished when the stuff you nicked ran out. Yeah, well, the joke's on you. I nicked that stash once, I can do it again. Of course, I wouldn't screw a partner. You're off the planet. I don't need you. I'm going all the way to the top. Sure, yeah. I'm going to be right alongside you.
Jude, have you heard how Pixie is?
She's okay. They're going to keep her in there for observation. It's just routine.
Hope she's all right, the lovable loon.
What the
hell was Mrs. Morris thinking of?
Come on, Myra. You don't think she did that on purpose?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe she just doesn't care anymore. Either way, it was sheer bloody negligence.
You know, for someone who was so bright, that is a very dumb thing to say. Now, instead of bitching about Mrs. Morris, why don't you try and work out what's wrong with her? That's what I'm doing.
Hey, Jude, what about your teeth?
I've lost my appetite.
Ready to brave the real world? Suppose it's a feet up in front of the telly now.
Oh, when is it ever anything else?
Good night, Rick.
No. Glad I caught you. Oh, I was just coming to see you. I'll be a bit late in the morning. I'm going to see the doctor.
Good idea, and take all the time you need. I'll see that you're covered.
Thanks.
I just wanted to let you all know the department's decided to shine its light on us. We're getting another psychiatrist.
Are we losing Wiseman?
Oh, heavens no. He knows more about the women than anyone. No, this is something different, a research project.
Research? Sounds like guinea pig stuff.
Oh, I don't think so. Apparently we're getting some bigwig in behaviour modification.
Behaviour modification? Isn't that used on difficult children?
That's right. It's supposed to turn little monsters into angels of virtue.
No, apparently it works.
On kids, perhaps. I can just see how far a pat on the head would get us with this lot, though.
I think it's a little more involved than that, Colleen, so let's not knock it till we've tried it. I think if there's one chance in 1,000 it could help those women lead useful lives, it's worth the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I'll go along with that. But then I'm a masochist. Good night.
Apparently, Officer Ferguson was on leave in Sydney when she spotted the escapee by chance.
Oh, Struth, how'd you be? Getting into state and running straight into the frigate to give you nightmares.
Poor little
Bobby.
Bobby. Sure have missed a cheeky little shrimp butt.
An extradition order is currently being processed for Mitchell's return to Victoria. An abandoned car has been found containing articles belonging to the other escapee, Sonia Stevens.
Well,
There's a
looks
bullet
like
hole
someone
through the
finally
windshield
caught
of
up
the
with the
car.
ice lady.
Although no body has been found, police
Sounds like the
suspect
freak
foul
did you all a
play.
favour.
Investigations
She can't
are
do us
continuing.
another one.
So will you turn that down? I got a splitting headache here.
40.
Thank you.
Looks like Bobby's on her way back, eh?
Yeah, well, got rid of Sonia. Can't have everything.
No, you're right. About a lot of things.
Huh?
Mrs. Morris, for one. I'm sorry, Jude. I fly off the handle a bit. I know she wouldn't deliberately turn against us.
Yeah, well, thank God for miracles.
Hey, it was a smile.
I'm sorry, Myra. It's not you, it's Pixie. I'm worried sick about her.
I thought you said she was okay.
The shock did more than hurt her. It jogged her memory.
So?
So, she's dropped a bombshell. She reckons she killed a bloke. Yeah, but do you really think she's going to stop giving us problems?
Buggered if I know, Jude. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. If Margot wants the truth, she's got it.
Yeah, well, like I said, Myra, I still don't reckon you can trust her.
Come on, let's hurry up. We'll miss breakfast.
Oh, jeez.
You and me got some talking to do. I didn't do nothing. Yeah, that was my stash that went down to S Bend yesterday, in case you'd forgotten. No, I haven't. Listen, you'll save your breath. Unless you can think of one good reason why I should rearrange your fates. I could be useful to you. You know, get on side with Brian, find out. Floundering, cunt. Anything I need to know, I can find out for myself. Yeah? Well, I bet you didn't know Mason killed a bloke. What do you want about? Pixie. She's a killer. Yeah? Who'd have picked it?
You see? I can be useful to you. And you're going to need someone to take your orders when the new stash comes in.
Maybe.
And there is one coming in.
Don't push your luck, Hunt. You're getting off now, but only because I'm in a good mood. You start asking questions and I'll finish you for good, right?
All right.
If I were as fit as you, Meg, I'd be turning cartwheels.
You mean there's nothing wrong?
Nope, you're as healthy as a horse. And twice as pretty.
God, here I was imagining I had a brain tumour. Suppose I should be pleased.
But you're not.
I don't know. Well, something's wrong. I know that.
I've known you for 10 years, Meg. You're just not the hysterical type. But this memory loss thing, well, I just can't explain it. Now, if you're on medication, that would be different. But I know I haven't prescribed anything, and so...
Oh.
Don't tell me you are taking something.
Sleeping tablets. I got them from a doctor near the prison some months ago.
Why didn't you tell me?
Didn't think it was important. I mean, they were just sleeping tablets.
Well, until I see the prescription, I can't be sure. But I'd say we found your problem, Meg.
It really is a pleasure having you with us, Dr. Edmonds, and if there's anything you need, just ask Mrs. Powell or myself.
Thank you very much, Governor. Mrs. Powell has already made me feel quite at home.
My pleasure. I'll get back to reception.
Thanks, Colleen.
Well, Anne, it's been a long time.
Yes, it must be nearly 20 years.
Closer to 25.
Oh, it's not very gallant of you to remind me.
You don't need gallantry. You're as lovely as ever.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
I didn't know it'd be you till this morning, but then the department's hardly noted for keeping us enlightened.
Well, they've been very kind to me. 100% support. I'm very grateful.
Well, they seem convinced you can help the women. I'm afraid I don't know very much about behaviour modification, except it works wonders with some children.
Ah, that's because kids are basically attention seekers. If a child knows he can get a certain reaction by a certain behaviour, he knows he can manipulate the parents. That's his reward.
So you ignore the behaviour, make the child take responsibility for it?
Something like that.
Well, can't see it working with our mob. We'd have total anarchy on our hands.
No, don't worry, Anne. I've got something quite different in mind for Wentworth.
Trade secret.
Not really. It's just that if I tell you how, you'll start looking for results. I'd much rather you assess the ends without my having to justify the means.
Fair enough. But I don't envy you going through all those files. How many women do you need?
I'd like to start with 2. See how we go before we add any more to the programme. Look, a few words from you would save me a lot of time with those files. Why don't you have dinner with me tonight?
Well, I do have a lot of paperwork.
You have to eat. And I need to make the right decisions if I'm going to get the best results.
You sound very confident.
I know I must seem like the most colossal egotist. But I promise you this. I always achieve my ends.
Bloody silly, they'll only stop our money.
Yeah, and you were saving up to buy an IQ. Look, if we're going to get anything, we've got to stick together, like Myra says.
Yeah, I don't mind too much. Hey, don't suppose anyone's got a pack of cards?
Pixie!
Hey, Pix.
Hello, honey. How you feeling?
I'm all right, I think.
Okay, what's going on, please?
Absolutely nothing, Mrs. Powell. We're not doing any outside work. We are on strike, remember?
The machines have been fixed. So now what's the excuse?
Got a few hours? Let's start with exploitation of labour, bad pay, bad conditions.
Yes, all right. You realise what you're doing is making it worse for yourselves?
Do you realise that all we're trying to do is get a fair go?
Like any other worker.
Yeah, we're a union now.
Oh, it's terrific. That's all we need. Suit yourselves.
Thanks. We will.
I don't understand. You're not striking because of me, are you?
Oh, honey, of course not. I mean, you may have started us
No,
off.
Pixie, we've got legitimate grievances now. Just took your accident to get us off our bums.
Oh, goodness.
I hope Mrs. Reynolds doesn't get into no strife because we're not working.
Well, who cares about a bit of strife?
I do. Reno can go fish, but I'm not landing in solitary just because Desmond fancies herself as Norm Gallagher in drag.
Listen, Keen. If you think you can run this laundry on your own, go ahead. Break the strike.
I wouldn't like your chances, but nobody likes scabs.
Especially when they're all over your face.
Oh, Jude, you have to help me. I have to tell Mrs. Reynolds I
Be
can't
quiet. We
keep it
won't talk about it here. There are too many
longer.
people here I don't trust, Pixie.
I gather congratulations are in order.
Brought you back a souvenir from Sydney.
Thank you.
She hasn't said a word. I think she's pretty down.
Well, you would be, wouldn't you?
Oh, Mitchell. Home sweet home, eh?
Okay, Mitchell, you know the ropes on the white line.
2 escapes in 3 months. Some people are incorrigible, aren't they?
But I didn't
Come on, you're just wasting time.
Fought like a little alley cat, she did. I really had my hands full.
You liar, you rotten liar!
That won't do you any good.
Just do as you're told, Mitchell.
You stinking rat
That's
bag
enough.
dyke.
But don't you see I did a terrible thing and I have to be punished for it? Well, it was different before when I didn't remember, but now
Hang on a minute, Pixie. Now, you say you killed him.
Yeah.
Well, when? Where's the body?
ease up,
Come
Myra.
on, Jude. I'm trying to get the facts straight. If we're going to help you, love, we've got to know everything.
Well, it was weeks ago. No, it was months ago now, just after we eloped. Oh, we're going to have such a beautiful wedding. I just left him there. I was so scared.
But, Pixie, love, why haven't we heard anything? Somebody must have found the body. Somebody must know who he is.
No, they wouldn't.
What is it, Pixie? Why wouldn't they?
Well, I had his wallet. You see, he gave it to me in the afternoon so that I could go shopping, and when I found it, I just threw it away in a rubbish bin.
God.
So he could be lying in a morgue somewhere labelled as John Doe.
What are we going to do?
Well, there's only one thing we can do. We have to tell the police.
No, Pixie. Now listen to me. That is not going to bring Ralph back. And if you go to the police, they'll just charge you with murder.
But I'll tell them it was self-defense. I was only defending myself, Myra, protecting my honor. They'll believe me.
Oh, will they, Pixie? Look at me. Did they believe me?
But it's the truth.
Honey, sometimes truth and justice aren't the same thing.
Oh, why the frown, Parker? I thought you'd be real pleased to see me, seeing I brought your little mate back.
Bobby?
That's right. She's in Gaffney's cell. You see, we like to keep the scum together.
G'day. How you going? Okay, I guess.
Geez, I'm glad to see ya.
Me too. Thought I'd seen the last of this place.
Yeah, well, at least you're alive. I tell you, me blood run cold when I heard about Sonia.
What do you mean? Did they get her?
Reckon someone did. Found her bag in a car, someone shot a hole in the windscreen.
Good. Double-crossing, cold-hearted bitch. Her and the freak are two of a kind. What about this Gaffney person? Is she going to give me any trouble?
Oh, well, she's rough as bags, but don't you worry. I'll keep an eye on you, that's what mates are for.
Still mates, then?
Yeah, sure we are. Listen, Bobby, I sort of shot your mouth off a bit when you...
Oh, I reckon you had good cause.
Oh, geez, I've missed you, Bobby. Straight up, I have.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a surprise for you, too. I kept your Walkman real safe.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, geez, Cass, you're a real good mate.
Well, I know you'll all cooperate and give Dr. Edmonds any help he needs.
Of course, Governor.
It's a pleasure meeting all of you, and I hope I have a chance to get to know you.
Well, I hate to rush off, but I've got dining room duty and...
Oh, please don't let me keep anyone from their work.
Well, if you'd like to share a sandwich, there's lunch in my office.
Thanks for the offer, but I've got a few calls to make.
Bye.
Well, he seemed like a pretty genuine sort of a bloke.
It takes more than good intentions to get through to this lot.
Oh, by the way, that was a very brave thing you did in Sydney with Mitchell and Stevens.
I was just doing my duty. But no thanks to you and your mate.
Don't follow you.
I'm talking about Mr. Eddie Lazarus Stevens, dead one minute and in Sydney the next, or didn't you know?
Yes, I know.
And you knew that he was probably looking for Mitchell and Stevens and knew just where to find them?
What difference does it make now?
I'll tell you what difference it makes. I only found them by chance. But you probably knew where they were all along. I think the police might find that very interesting, don't you?
Well, why don't you tell them? Inspector Maynard, Russell Street. But I'd check my facts if you don't want to look like a fool.
And apparently the effects are cumulative. The more you take, the worse the memory loss.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't anything more serious, Meg.
Oh, me too. Hate to think what might have happened.
But it didn't, so let's just forget about it.
I do think I owe the women an explanation. After all, I am responsible for this strike.
Oh, don't be a martyr, Meg. The women have lots of reasons for striking. You're way down on the list.
Oh, I do think it'd help if they understood why I slipped up. I'll be very careful about handling it.
All right. Can't see that it'll do any harm.
Pixie, you've got to eat something. You hardly touched your lunch.
Well, I just don't feel very hungry at the moment, Jude.
I know. We'll think of what's the best thing to do. Now, don't worry, huh?
Oh, Cat, Martha, don't tell me you didn't have it off with any spunks while you were away. I would have.
Maybe you're not as fussy as I am. I told you they were all creeps.
I bet they were.
Lay off, Phyllis.
And what are you, Parker? Her bodyguard.
Cass is me mate. I don't need a bodyguard.
It's just as well. There's only room for 2 of us in the cell.
Excuse me, ladies. Just want to have a word with you before the bell goes. Mason, feeling any better?
Oh, yes, I'm much better now, Mrs. Morrison. It wasn't your fault, really.
Yes, it was. That's why I want to explain. I know some of you think I've been behaving rather oddly lately.
Mrs.
No,
Evans,
please,
no
please.
need
The fact is that I've been taking some medication and... No, it's nothing serious, but I had an adverse reaction to it, and it affected my memory. Now, I just want you to know that I didn't want to hurt or neglect any one of you.
We know that, Mrs. Morris.
Thanks for being so straight.
Gaffney, your sister phoned through. She's on her way to see you.
Yeah? Good one.
Lost her memory, I'll bet.
Oh, shut up, Keen.
Yeah, well, you can suck up to the screws if you like. I've had a gutful.
That makes 2 of us. Now, why don't you try behaving like a human being for once in your life? You might enjoy the novelty.
Gee, Mara's really got it in for Reb, hasn't she?
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me to see the boot on the other foot real soon.
So, with the interview room in use, I thought my office was the best bet.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Rick, you know Bobby Mitchell's back.
Yeah, I heard. Is any problems?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Her transfer to Barnhurst's been cancelled. They won't take her. With 2 escapes, she's a high security risk.
Oh, so she stays here?
Yes. And the question is, can you cope with that after what she tried to do to you?
Governor Bobby's just a confused kid who cried rape, that's all. I've got nothing against her. There won't be any problems.
Thanks, I was hoping you'd feel that way. I'll leave you with Maynard.
Inspector? How's Eddie?
He's coming along nicely. Should be out in a week or 2.
How about Birmingham and Mears?
Oh, that's why I'm here, Rick. What a chance to catch these 2 and put them away for good. But we need some bait for the trap.
Me?
That's right. But think carefully before you answer, Rick. I can't guarantee you'll walk away from this one in one piece.
You just tell me how and when. I waited a long time for these 2.
Well, we thought we had them for a while. We even traced the explosives used to bomb your car back to them.
The Birmingham and Mears?
Yep.
I thought fellows would have used his own blokes.
Well, so did we. We've got the supplier on a illegal possession of explosives. We tried to do a deal, but he won't finger our little friends until they're safely behind bars.
Don't blame him. So where do I come in?
Well, the tap they've got on my phone could be just the break we need. Now, if you call me and tell me you've got a line on Mears and his mate, one of them is going to know.
Okay. When?
Well, not till tomorrow. I'm flying up to see Eddie right after I leave you. But let me tell you one thing, mate. They're going to shoot their way out of this, with you as the target.
You just tell me exactly what you want me to do.
Gail reckons coke's harder to get than smack, so we're going to cut it with vitamin B. She thinks of everything. Here.
Oh, geez, thanks, Margaret.
It's not for you, lame brain. I want you to get on side with the 3 Musketeers. That's a prezi for the Incredible Hulk.
Parker, why come she gets chocolate?
Don't worry. She's going to find it a real moving experience. It's made of senna.
Senna? That's what you use for constipation, isn't it?
That's right. When she gets through with eating that, she's going to have the worst cramps and run she's ever had. A real 2-roll job.
Geez, you play dirty, Margot.
I play to win. Parker's the real worry, but she'll be taken care of. Brian's no problem with that dicky heart of hers.
What about Myra?
Oh, don't you worry, I've got plans for her too. And your little roommate's going to help me.
Reb?
Yeah. I want you to nick one of her socks for me on the sly.
Yeah?
Then I'm going to make a cosh with it to part Desmond's hair. Then I'll plant it back in Keen's stuff, so the screws take care of her for us too.
Oh, good one, Margot.
This, Pixie Mason seems like quite a character.
Oh, she is. She was convicted of bigamy and fraud, but I really don't think she understands why. She's what you might call a little loopy, but she hasn't got a malicious bone in her body.
Then we'd be doing quite a service if we could try to keep her out of here in future.
Absolutely.
Parker's a different matter entirely. This is bad history of violence.
Oh, well, these files don't give you a full picture. I mean, she's really quite a docile person, except just for this flash temper of hers.
Are there any of them you don't like?
Yes, of course. Only human. And I'm also late. Have to do my rounds. Excuse me.
Yes, of course. You don't share Mrs. Morris's opinion, Miss Ferguson?
We all have our own ideas, Doctor. You're a very boring world otherwise.
I agree, but she seems like a very compassionate woman.
There's a difference between compassion and idealism. There's no room for idealism in the service. That, of course, is just my opinion.
I see. Then you think Mrs. Morris's approach is too soft?
She's far too trusting, and the women know it. They take advantage of her. Discipline is the answer.
Well, I can't argue with that, but perhaps she's never had cause to distrust the women.
They killed her husband, Doctor, and she still treats them as though they're just social misfits.
Then it's just as well Wentworth has officers like you to keep the balance.
I'm a realist, Doctor. I do my job according to the book. Besides, not all of us are bucking for a sainthood.
Oh, God,
I know, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, it's only 2 words, you moron.
But it is a monster, right? Sort of a monster.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like some sort of freak to me.
That's it, the freak!
Oh, well done.
I love those games. Yeah, she makes more sense when she's got her mouth shut. Go on, go to work.
Hey, listen, can anyone give me a fag? I'll pay you back tonight after buyout.
Yeah, what makes you think we'll get buyout?
Why wouldn't we?
We're not doing any work, are we? Screws will have to get back at us somehow. We won't get a thing.
Oh, we'd better. Mrs. Reynolds won't know what hit her if she pulls something like that.
She won't. She knows we're all behind you.
Thanks.
Pixie, what's wrong with you? I thought you were enjoying the game.
Oh, I'm trying to, Jude, but I can't stop thinking about, you know.
Where's your little mate?
In her cell, and you lay off her, Phyllis.
Oh, come on, Cass, I like Bobby. I was only having a bit of a joke before in the rec room. You know me, I'm always shooting my mouth off. I reckon Myra's right. We've got to stick together in this dump.
Yeah, well, you're right there.
Anyway, I got something for you, a sort of a peace offering.
What is it?
Chocolate. I've been saving it up, but I want you to have it.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Oh, go on. It'd make me feel better.
You sure?
Here, go on, take it.
Oh, well, thanks, Phyllis. I'll save it for after. This'll be a real treat.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so, Cass.
Bloke that did the special effects is only in his 20s. Some of those creations. The Thing.
God, it all sounds a bit gruesome for me. I prefer the old James Arness version myself.
Baby girl.
Careful, careful. I won't give you a lift home.
Don't need one. I'm mobile again.
What, have you got a new car?
Well, not new, but it goes. Just.
Glad you two can still find something humorous about this place.
Joan, I haven't asked you. How's your father?
They're keeping him in Sydney in hospital for a few more weeks.
They haven't finished the tests.
Not exactly.
Right, thanks.
All right, mate. There she is.
What is that?
It's Rolls Canardly.
Huh?
Well, it rolls down one side and can hardly get up the other. Get his own skin deep, Meg. You listen to the way she runs.
Certainly very quiet. You sure you don't want that lift?
Come on, baby, don't let me down. See? It's like a woman. Just gotta coax her into it. See you tomorrow.
Here you go, Mason. And Parker the last. Make yourself sick on that lot.
Ooh, whoopee, me Tim Tams or Mrs. Powell have been dreaming about them. Thank
That's
you.
it for another week.
I have to wait a whole week before I get anything.
Oh, no, Bobby, you can share me bickies.
No, Cass, I couldn't take them.
Oh, well, look, I got some chocky. There you go. You get stuck into that.
Oh, thanks. You sure look after me.
Yeah, sure do, don't I? Someone's got her.
Oh, every week the same old thing. I wish we could get something really exciting.
Like what?
Oh, like perfuming little crystal bottles or body cream.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, Pixie, to hear you talk, you'd think you wouldn't say boo to a goose. And there you go, killing a bloke. Yeah?
Who'd you kill, Mason? One of your old men?
Shut up, both of you.
Oh, everybody, no.
Pixie, no.
Jude, let her go. She needs a good cry. Proud of yourself, Gaffney?
Well, hold on. I didn't know it was a secret.
Well, how the hell did you find out about it in the first place?
I think it was Keen, wasn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, no. You're not pinning this one on me.
You got a big mouth, Keen. It's about time I shut it for you.
Don't scare me to death.
We're all getting a little bit sick and tired of you. Why don't you wake up to yourself?
You can get knotted, Desmond. You're not my keeper. If you want to play at mother, it's too bad. You're bombed out with your own kids.
You bitch!
I'm sick to death of being pushed around. From now on, I'm looking out for number one. And you can take your strike and shove it.
No, she is not worth it, Myra.
Look, Jude, she could break the strike out of sheer spite. Now I'm going after her.
Hang on, Keen. We've got to talk. Got nothing to say to you, and you got nothing I want to hear.
Listen! Now, why don't you stop fighting the world for 5 minutes? The worst enemy you've got is yourself.
It's very good. John Laws will be proud of you. You know something? You suck.
I'll take you on any time, Keen. But if you break this strike, you're not just getting at me. You're hurting all the women. You're crueling their chances for a fair deal.
This may surprise you, Desmond, but I don't give a stuff about the other women, especially you. Now get off my back.
Should have saved my breath.
Thank you. Yes, those were 10 good years. After the Institute gained credibility in the profession, I became something of a celebrity. But somewhere along the way, I lost Laura.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, don't be. I probably shouldn't have married her in the first place. But she was pretty and she made no demands and, well, she let me put the work first. Perhaps that wasn't a good thing.
Strange to hear you say that now. I can remember a time when you thought I'd get in the way of the work.
I was an intense intellectual idiot in those days. You were my safety valve, Anne. I can see that now. You know, when we broke up, most of my friends drifted away. They said they felt I always had them under a microscope. Can you imagine?
Yes. I often felt that. Didn't matter. I thought you'd finally come to realize that not everything is defined in terms of science.
I should have married you, Anne. I know that now.
Well, the food here's awfully good, but I don't think I could manage another mouthful.
Perhaps we should get you a doggy bag.
Haven't got a dog.
Coffee?
Perfect. Then we can talk about the women. I really do want this project of yours to work, you know.
Thanks. I knew I could count on you.
Oh, but it's dreadful. I feel awful. I mean, she was trying to help
Oh, for
me.
God's sake, Pixie, don't fold up on us now. Oh, sorry.
This is ridiculous. What have we got here? Snooker balls. Imaginative little ghoul, isn't she?
Well, you really are stupid to think you'd get away with this.
You
After
rotten
so
bitch!
long.
How'd you manage it, bitch?
I didn't, Margot!
Okay, hon, watch yourself or you'll join your mate in the pound. The rest of you get to your cells. You two stay here.
What do you reckon that was all about?
I don't know. It's hard to tell who's hanging who around here.
I'm sick to my stomach, Jude. Oh, Myra, do you reckon she'll be okay?
I don't know, Bobby. I hope so. I really hope so.
Look, I feel real bad about letting you down. With Mr. Manning, I mean. You standing up for me and all.
Honey, I didn't exactly go out on a limb for you. I just wanted you to have a fair chance.
Every time I get one, I blow it, don't I?
It's not always your fault, you know. Looks like things went pretty badly for you in Sydney.
Reckon the freak maybe did me a favour. Most of the kids I saw on the cross, I don't know how to put it. It's almost like there's a smell of death up there, like they know they're not going to make it.
Well, you're going to make it. And I'm going to see that you make it, huh?
Thanks. Look, I want to give you a present. This is all I got.
I couldn't take your chocolates.
Oh, Go on.
Well, thank you very much. There goes my diet, huh? Mitchell, what are you doing here? Get to your cell.
Whatever you say, Miss Ferguson.
Good night, Bryant.
Good night, Miss Ferguson.
Yum.
Pix? Hey, Pix. Oh, what's up? Hey, you okay?
Oh, it's just no use, Cass. I just can't live with it any longer.
Oh, you mean what Margot said about you killing her?
Oh, yeah. It's true. It's all true, and I have to be punished for it.
Oh, now come on, don't you cry, Pix. I don't like to see a little mate cry.
No, but I can't bear it any longer, can't you see? I have to tell Mrs. Reynolds. I have to get it off my conscience.
Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Mrs. Morris? Oh, my God. Mrs. Morris, somebody let me out, please. I gotta go.
It's nice. You're looking a little nervous, Hunt. What's the matter? Feeling lost without Gaffney?
You had something to do with it, didn't you, you bitch?
Me? Do something to poor old Margot.
Don't give me that crap. You fixed her up and now she's blaming me.
Tough.
You bitch.
Hunt! Hands off.
I wasn't doing nothing.
And keep it that way unless you want to join Gaffney. Maybe she'd welcome a bit of company at Blackmore.
Blackmore? You're joking.
Far from it. She's on her way. Move out.
Oh, they didn't waste no time, did they? Wham, bam, and ta-da, Margot.
Blackmore must be an awful place if they're going to let her there.
Good riddance.
Oh, well, you'll have a cell on your own now. That'll be wonderful,
Now the
won't
Mungles
it?
have put me in with Reb. I tell you, I'm getting jack of this joint.
Hurry it up, please, ladies.
Oh, Mrs. Powell, have you heard how Myra is?
She's alive, that's all I know. Oh, terrible thing, poor old Myra.
Move it, King.
Listen, Brian's in a bit of a bad way. Some sort of stomach wog. I had to let her out about 4 or 5 times through the night.
I'll check on her now.
Thank you.
Are you in pain?
No, it sort of comes and goes. It's spasms, you know. I missed the bed. I'm
Look,
sorry.
don't worry about that. If you can get out of bed, I think we should get you down to the hospital. Sister can call a doctor.
Thank you.
No point in asking you whether you want breakfast, is there?
Yes, Inspector. I have it in black and white. Enough to put them both away for quite some time. Okay, 12:30. You've got my address? Don't worry, I'll be there. Fine.
She really was in a bad way, the poor thing. I think it's some kind of enteritis. Let's hope we don't all come down with it.
It was certainly quite a night.
Any word on Desmond?
Oh, she's conscious, but only just. They're running x-rays this morning to see if there are any skull fractures. She's certainly not out of the woods yet.
It's weird, though. Gaffney screamed down solitary for half the night, claiming she was framed.
What do you think?
I don't know. I must say she wasn't very discreet with the weapon, if she is guilty. Still, we can only go by what we see.
If Edmonds can really change people's behaviour, Gaffney would have been the ideal patient.
It'll be too late for that. I don't think we'll see Gaffney again in a hurry.
Hey, you didn't waste any time getting into Margot's stash, did you?
Beat you to it, did I?
I got as much right as you have.
Oh, think again, lady. I got rid of Margot, so now all her assets come to me, and you're one of them, Phyllis.
I'm not doing your dirty work.
Why not? The pay's good. Be even better when we get a few sidelines going.
What do you mean?
Got a little job for you.
Well, it better be worth me while you can stick it.
I wish someone would tell us how Jude is.
Yeah, not the same round here without her and Myra.
We can give up this strike idea now. There's not much point.
Yeah, well, you're talking through your ears, so shut up.
Oh, fair go. She's entitled to her opinion.
Listen, Myra's lying in hospital because Gaffney tried to screw this up for all of us. Myra wanted us to strike. That's what we're going to do. Understand?
Sure, anything you say.
Okay, get the skip and do the rounds.
But I thought you said we were on strike.
We are stupid. Got to clean our own stuff or we'll stink the place out.
Okay, I'm going.
Now,
Anyone else want to back down? Better tell me now.
No, I reckon we do what Mara wants. We've got to keep this strike going.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do, but someone's got to make sure nobody backs out. Of course, if you want to do it, that's fine with me.
No, but...
Yeah, well, I know what you're thinking.
I doubt it.
Okay, so I look out for myself. Doesn't mean I don't care about the rest of you.
Oh, well, I think it's wonderful we have someone to look after us, and I'm sure Myra would be pleased that we're in such good hands.
Oh, Mason, Governor wants to speak to you.
They're lovely. I'm surprised you remembered.
Oh, I remember lots of things. You had a dress that colour. That was the first time I bought you flowers.
Stop it, you'll make me blush.
Suits you.
Well, maybe. But Mason will be here shortly, and I can do without any embarrassing questions from our resident scatterbrain.
I'm looking forward to meeting her.
You're in for a treat. Although I'd hardly call her antisocial, too much the other way, in fact.
Oh, I'm interested in compulsions of any kind. And this Gaffney woman seems antisocial enough for anybody.
Well, you've missed out on that one. After last night's incident, she's being transferred to maximum security at Blackmore.
Oh, that's a shame. I thought I could...
Mason's here to see you, Mrs. Reynolds.
Oh, Mrs. Reynolds, I was going to come and see you myself. Really, I was.
Mason, this...
The police! Oh, Inspector, I confess I did it. I murdered Ralph.
This came from me Walkman. What you got there?
Nothing. I'm just picking up the sheets.
You bloody liar, that's the buy-up stuff. There's Cass's Tim Tams.
Bad luck, Mitchell. Yeah. Nobody likes a sticky beak.
Just take it nice and easy, Manning. Do as you're told and you might live for a few more hours at least.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare.